Fur in the Fan friends, and welcome to this week's episode where we have an extended show for you. It is July 4th and we wanted to wish you all a happy 4th. Hope you're having a lot of great barbecues, swim parties, and later on, some awesome fireworks. Speaking of fireworks, we've had a couple of Fur in the Fan moments that we're going to be discussing later on in the video. But first of all, we have a couple of things we're going to take care of. One, if you remember last week, we talked about our chase lounge bed, really wasn't sure what to call the sitting area within our camper. Well, my lovely assistant came up with the perfect name, and that perfect name for our chase lounge bed is going to be a ched. That's C-H-E-D. Ched. Isn't that a lovely name for our sitting area inside of our unique camper? Thank you, lovely assistant. We're definitely going to use that name for our seating area. Now, speaking of awesome things, my lovely assistant also got me this awesome shirt. I'll model it for you. And you can buy these shirts not in our store because we don't have one. Anyway, let's get back to our show. All right, this past week I talked to one of our fans and he asked me a couple of questions about our ched. And what I thought we would do today is go ahead and answer that question about the springs and how we tightened them on our ched. And also I'm going to show you a Fur in the Fan boo-boo that we did. It wasn't bad, it was a good intention, but now we have to fix it. And I'll talk about that in a minute also. But first of all, let's swing down to the bed and I'll show you how we installed the new springs. Earlier this week, I was talking to one of our viewers and he asked a couple of questions about our shed spring frame. And those questions were, one, about how we made the curve and welded it all together. But the second one I thought I would show you, and that is, how did I make the springs tight again? Because if you'll remember, we shortened this bed spring frame by about a foot, and then we made this curve, which made these really floppy. So I'm gonna bring you in here with the camera, and I'll show you how we fixed the springs so they're all nice and tight. Now the way we did that is we just took one of our extra pieces here. They all start out looking something like that. And so we just removed an extra set of these wired loops, I guess you could call them, from the set. Oops. And now we'd have just the one. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take this temporary wire off. Maybe. And then we're going to add our spring in the hole. And now you can see that if we put our spring in our loop and this loop, we know that we need to cut it, this wire here, so that it bends right there. So we're going to go ahead and shorten this piece. And with our looped wire in our spring, we know about how far that needs to come along there. And I see a little notch in our extended wire right here. So we'll just go ahead and bend that down. And we'll bend both of the wires at the same. So our new piece looks like that. And we'll attach it into our spring, pull our bed springs tight, and then these under wires here, just bend them back. So that you have a nice tight connection here But yet when we sit on the bed springs, then this spring actually can flex. All these can flex. There. Now, all these are nice and tight, which makes our bed frame ready to go. At least we thought. We went ahead and made one more adjustment to our bed spring, and we thought we were all done. I will show you that. Now, as you can see here on our bed springs, we went ahead and these bars down here and right here, they used to be flush with the top of our frame right here. And so when you would lay on the bed, your back would be like that bar would be right in the middle of your back or your knees. And so I thought what we could do is just lower this frame and this frame down about, I think it's 2 inches. And I didn't think that would be a problem. But I found out that with the fur in the fan moment that it is a problem. Now the problem that we found out with these particular bars running across there is they would run into our wheel well back here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but this bar actually touches the wheel well. And we can't have that, so we are actually going to remove the new bars that I put in, and I'm talking the lowered U bars. We're going to take those out and actually put them on an angle. And I think that'll still serve the purpose of supporting our front piece right here, and that will solve the problem of already a tight headspace in the back. So you can see laying here on our shed, if I was to put a ceiling in, right here, our headspace, we only have about 1.5 inches or so between my head and our ceiling. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to take out that centerpiece and we're going to lower it down that 2 inches or so to give us a little bit more headspace right here when we're sitting on our shed. So what we're going to do next, we're going to go ahead, we're going to change out of our lovely shirt and we're going to put on a regular old shop shirt so we can get dirty, because we're going to grind, cut, and weld and change these braces so that it'll suit our needs a little bit better. Now, as you can see, we're going to need to cut this bar right here, and we need to cut this bar right here, and we're basically going to bend them out so that they attach to this side and attach to this side, freeing up this entire center area and where the wheel well is on the inside of the camper. We just finished up welding our new cross members, and hopefully that will help our bed frame work a little bit better inside of our camper. As you can see here, I changed the frame that used to go here. It's now here, and the frame up there is now on an angle instead of right here in the middle of our back. By putting it on this angle and this angle, it'll clear the wheel well right here on the inside of our trailer. That's not bad. I give it a thumbs up. All right, now, what's the next thing we need to do? We need to put we're gonna put it inside first, because next we're going to add hinges onto this so we can actually raise it up while it's in the trailer. A lot of time has passed and I've done many things to this frame, more than I thought I was going to, but that's okay. We're gonna get it right. We want it to fit. So what did we do? We took out the straight braces and we put in these diagonal ones instead. We went ahead and we added hinges, 3 hinges right here on the back. And these hinges here will connect to our wall, which we'll show you in just a little bit. And we're gonna have to go back and retighten our bed springs here. We found that somewhere along the process our frame got a little bit tweaked, so it was pulling to that side about a 1/2 inch too far. And it wouldn't be a big deal, except for we're gonna make this bed actually be able to tilt up, and I don't want it to rub on the cabinets as it goes up. So we went ahead and we fixed that. Now we just need to tighten those 3 springs, and then we're gonna put it back in the camper, and hopefully that'll be the final time and the final fit. Let's go see if it fits. Well, the new bed frame seems to fit perfectly inside of the trailer. Looks like we have about 1 inch on that side, we have about 1 inch on this side, and that's really good because when we want to raise the bed, we can raise it and get stuff that may be under here. And also give us a wee bit more room if we're not sleeping or laying on the Chad. Now we need to add just a few more screws on that side. And what we're going to do temporarily, we're adding the screws that came with it. But I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and do a bolt through on at least one of each of the holes there, all the way through on the structural piece of our wall, so that it'll be nice and solid and won't go anywhere. So let me go ahead and finish driving those few screws home, and we'll get on to the next part. Gotta tell you, this shed has taken a lot longer than I thought, but what part of this camper hasn't? All right, let's do, oh, actually, you know what? I already pre-drilled it. Gotta forgive me a little bit. It's been 102 in the shop all day. So I'm sorry about the fan noise in the back, but it's hot in here. So let's go ahead and get these drilled in. There, it looks like we have all of our hinges secured to the wall. And I wanted to point out one other little teeny fur in the fan issue. This shed was not in the original design, and so the other reason why we're making this hinge up and down is because we have doors on this side and we have doors on this side of the shed. Now on our back side here, that's going to be our water storage, so that's okay. We won't be accessing that a lot. I'm not really sure what's in this cabinet, but either way, if we need to access it, just lift up the shed, get through the door, back down she goes. So it's a little fix to something we didn't really foresee, but that's okay. We're just working it out and we're getting closer to being done. Well, I think that's going to do it for us this week. Appreciate you coming back and kind of going over the shed all over again, but we had some tweaks that had to be made. I think we're ready and set to go with it. We just have to make some wood legs for right around here up front. My assistant and I went upholstery shopping to find some different upholstery options that we can put on this shed, as well as the windows here. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it. I think we've chosen the correct color and pattern. We'll have to wait and see. And the color we have chosen is, no, I'm not going to tell you yet. You got to wait. So we have on order, however, we have the lights and we have some electrical stuff that's coming from a delivery service. And as soon as that gets here, then we're going to start doing some electrical in here. That'll be good. Once we get the electrical done, then we can start putting insulation on the outside, put the shell on, build doors, windows. Hey, it's all coming close. So we have a lot of parts coming, and we're going to continue to build this camper. Appreciate y'all coming along with us. And if you like what you see, go ahead and hit that like button. If you have any suggestions, go ahead and give me a suggestion. And other than that, it's a bit warm in here, so I'm going to go inside and cool off for a little bit. Hey, we'll catch you next time.